Resourceful Designer, episode 234, Standing Out from Your Competition.
Welcome to the Resourceful Designer podcast, offering solutions to streamline your graphic and web design business so you can get back to designing. And now, your host. He's owned every version of Adobe Photoshop, Mark Descote.
Yep, and Photoshop has come a long way since then. I mean, can you even imagine designing in Photoshop without layers? That feature wasn't introduced until version 3, and wow, what a game changer it was. And did you know you couldn't even edit the way type looked until version 5 of Photoshop? Yep, it's come a long way. Speaking of coming a long way, you've decided to listen to me this week, so thank you for coming that far at least. In this episode, the 234th one of Resourceful Designer, I'm going to talk about standing out. I'm also going to share a resource that may help you grow as a designer. Now, I'd like to start off every episode giving you a little bit of info on what I've been up to this past week. Well, I'm sorry to say that a huge project that I had actually told you all about a couple of months ago, it was going to be a big project that I was going to take on in January and February. Well, because of COVID and the pandemic and all that, it's fallen through. I was talking to the client this week and they've decided at this point, they said maybe in the future they might decide to move on with it, but because of finances and everything, the project that we were going to work on is no longer happening. Now, on a positive note, they had already given me a deposit, which was non-refundable, so I got paid up front for that part, even though I'm not doing any work. So there's silver linings in it in that way. But it's always sad to see a project go away like that. Speaking of projects, I did finish 2 websites, got them launched for my clients this week. They were very happy. I have another website that's having some issues that are a little bit beyond me. I need to get a developer involved, and I'm working it out with the client to see exactly how we're going to tackle this issue with their website. So I'm not sure where things are going to go with that, but the problems with the website are a little bit beyond my abilities to fix. I also did some work on one of my personal websites. I have several websites besides the work-related ones. I just have some personal websites. I did some work on them. And I did some updates on a brochure for a client and some other marketing materials for them as well. This is all stuff I had designed in the past. They just needed some adjustments like price changes and some of their copy, the wording on it had to be updated. So just minor things like that. So that's just a little bit of the projects I've been working on this past week. But something else I have been working on is getting to know the new people in the Resourceful Designer community. As I've been mentioning the last couple of episodes, I will be closing registration for the Resourceful Designer community at the end of October. Your time is running out. There's only a couple of weeks left, and then I will be closing it down and not accepting any new members in the community until sometime in 2021. And a few people did decide to join before the closure. And Krista, one of the new members, joined us in our video chat, which we have every Friday. We have a video chat to just talk and find out what everybody's been up to. And if anybody has questions, they can ask and that. Well, Krista joined us and I just wanted to welcome her. It was nice to see her partake and answer questions. And so far, from what I see, she's enjoying the community. And I'm sure you would as well. The Resourceful Designer community is a place where you can talk openly about your design business. It's really nice to be able to discuss things with people who are your peers, people who understand what you're doing, understand what you're going through, but they're not your competitors. So you can talk openly about pricing, about your contracts, about problems with clients, and not have to worry about any repercussions. It's a safe place without all the drama and other BS that you find in other platforms. And we know these are trying times. A lot of people working from home now are being forced to work from home. I know those like me who do it voluntarily. This is what we like, but a lot of people are being forced to work from home and they're not used to it. And maybe the Resourceful Designer community is the escape they need, that support system that will help you. So if you want to give it a try, you have until the end of October to join before I close the doors until sometime in 2021. And if you're interested, please visit resourcefuldesigner.com/community. Now, this week's tip or resource of the week is a conference that's coming up really quick, and I do apologize if you are not listening to this episode when it first comes out. That's because I'm releasing this on October 19th, 2020, and starting tomorrow is Adobe Max. Now, if you're unfamiliar, Adobe Max is usually a huge conference with thousands of people that attend, and it's all about design and graphics and everything. And a lot of people would love to go, but it's usually costly to attend, which is prohibitive to some people. Well, this year, because of COVID and because of non-person events, Adobe Max decided to go virtual. And best of all is they made it free. So there's no tickets, there's no cost to get in. It is free for anybody to attend. And they have some great speakers lined up and some great platforms and all sorts of stuff for you to check out. So if you're interested and you still have time, visit max.adobe.com and sign up to attend Adobe Max. And now, standing out from your competition. When I say the word pencil, what comes to mind? Maybe you have your favorite mechanical pencil. I know I do. Mine is the Staedtler Elite Model 9707. It's a 0.5 millimeter refillable pencil with a rubberized grip. And even though it comes in multiple colors, mine has to be green. I bought my first one back in college, from the college bookstore, in fact, when I first started my design program. And it's the only model of mechanical pencil I've ever used. Anytime something happens to it, I replace it with the exact same one. And I've been using it since college, working through the print shop, and even now on my desk right in front of me is that same pencil. Now, funny side story here. When I used to work at the print shop, everybody knew that that was my pencil. I was the only one in the shop that had one like it, and everybody knew it was mine. But every once in a while, someone would come by my cubicle, maybe want to leave me a note or had to write something down, and they would inadvertently or accidentally walk off with my pencil. And if I couldn't find my pencil, if I sat down to work and I couldn't find my pencil, I just couldn't work. I needed to find my pencil. And I remember one time I was walking around the front office of the print shop, and the manager saw me from his office, and he called out to me and says, "Mark, what are you doing?" And when I told him that my pencil was missing, he immediately got up from his desk, poked his head into the assistant manager's office and told her, says, "Mark's looking for his pencil." And then he got the receptionist involved. And the four of us went on a pencil hunt because they knew that I didn't work if I didn't have my pencil. I have to say that that's probably the only thing I could think of that I may be a little OCD about. I need to have my pencil there for me to work. And it was known at the print shop. If my pencil was missing, they weren't getting any work done from me. Anyways, I'm sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent. I just thought it was a funny story to share. But I asked you, what do you think when I say the word pencil? Now, I bet that at least one of the images that flashed through your head was of a yellow painted piece of wood with graphite in its center. The quintessential yellow pencil found, well, just about anywhere in the world. Well, I read an article on Medium this week by a woman named Melissa Gouty, titled "Why Pencils Are Painted Yellow." And even though the article has absolutely nothing to do with design, I did see some parallels. Now, I'll put a link to Melissa's article in the show notes for this episode, but in case you really don't want to read it or all that, I'll kind of paraphrase what her article was about. You see, the common yellow pencil that we take for granted actually helped spark the Renaissance. Before the invention of the pencil, quill and ink were the only means for writing, and they were mostly reserved for the elite, the scholars. The invention of the pencil allowed common people a means to record knowledge and to write whenever and wherever they wanted. Now, at the time, the discovery of graphite was so valuable that the English government actually took control of its distribution and guarded it very closely. So around the world, people took to smuggling graphite, and innovative individuals tried to come up with interesting ways to use it for writing. Well, in 1565, a Swiss man by the name of Conrad Gessner came up with the idea of encasing graphite in wood, and the pencil industry was born. This common instrument that's familiar to every school child around the world, something that you probably have a few of them strewn around your house, was a very valuable commodity way back then. To own a pencil made you special. But like most things, time and wider availability diminished the pencil's mass appeal. Over the next 300 years, the thrill of owning a pencil really fizzled out. This marvelous invention was no more than a boring brown piece of wood with graphite in the middle. Until 1889, that is. In 1889, the World Fair was held in Paris, France. It attracted more than 32 million visitors, and it had exhibitors from around the world. Now, one exhibitor was an Austrian-Hungarian company by the name of Koh-i-Noor Hardtmuth. And they had been in business for over 100 years at that time, and they were known for producing high-quality art and drafting supplies, including pencils. But really, how is one pencil better than another? Well, Koh-i-Noor came up with an idea. You may even say that their idea was one of the first things to ever go viral. See, at the time, the largest diamond known to exist, coincidentally also named Koh-i-Noor, the Koh-i-Noor diamond, was about to be put into the crown of the Queen of England, Elizabeth II. So this drafting supply company did something that nobody had ever done before. Since the name of the diamond, Koh-i-Noor, was getting so much publicity and it was the same name as their business, they decided to give their pencil that name as well. They called their pencil the Koh-i-Noor Series 1500. But naming the pencil wasn't enough. They had to somehow make their pencil different. And that's when they came up with the idea of painting their pencils yellow. They put a lot of thought and energy into selecting that perfect color. And they selected the particular shade of yellow for 3 reasons. The first reason is that the best graphite in the world and the graphite that they used in their pencils came from China. And in China, yellow represents prestige and royalty. The second reason is the Koh-i-Noor diamond actually has yellow flecks in it. And the third reason is the Austria-Hungary flag actually had yellow crowns on it. So at the 1889 World Fair in Paris, France, Koh-i-Noor Hardtmuth Art and Drafting Supply Company debuted their new luxury pencil, the Koh-i-Noor Series 1500. And their version of the common pencil quickly became associated with wealth, power, and prestige. Soon, nobody wanted to be seen with a plain brown pencil, and Koh-i-Noor cornered the pencil market, selling a more expensive version of the same product that everyone else was, but nobody can get enough of them. Now, of course, back in 1889 and the years that followed, there was nothing stopping others from following their lead, and soon pencil manufacturers around the world were painting their pencils yellow as well. But for a short time, one company had figured out a way to corner the market by making their version of the same product that everybody else was offering, the one that was the most desirable. So what does this have to do with running a design business? Think of all the services and the products that you offer and how similar they are to your competition. You design logos, they design logos. You design business cards, they design business cards. You create websites, they create websites, and so forth. We're all designers. And to a certain extent, we all pretty much do the exact same thing. So take a cue from 140 years ago and do something different that makes what you offer unique compared to everyone else. If you look at my podcast branding business, I'm one of the more expensive options out there. There are others who, quote unquote, specialize in creating podcast cover artwork. And yet I'm getting a ton of work. Why is that? Well, my clients tell me it's because I stand out. I look the most professional. My clients are looking for success and prestige with their podcasts, and I look like the one who can provide that for them. And that's why they're choosing me over less expensive options. So what are you doing to stand out from your competition? How are you offering the same services that they do in a manner that will entice clients to choose you over them? Now, I wish I can give you the solution, but I can't. But what I can do is encourage you to think about it, pursue it, take a look at what it is you offer, and figure out a way that you can make it more appealing to clients. Become that quote-unquote luxury option that they covet. And when you do that, you can corner the market in your area. And that's it. I know it's a short episode this week, but that's what I wanted to say. And I would love to know, what are you doing to stand out? Let me know. Leave a comment for this episode at resourcefuldesigner.com/episode 234. And while you're on the website, make sure you visit resourcefuldesigner.com/community, or just click the community button at the top and sign up before the end of October, when registration or enrollment will be closed. This is your opportunity to join a great bunch of designers who are there dedicated to helping each other, to growing together, and ensuring that we all succeed. So check it out, resourcefuldesigner.com/community. And depending on when you're listening to this, if the episode just published, you still have time to register for Adobe Max. It runs from October 20th to 22nd and is absolutely free to register. So if you've ever wanted to attend an Adobe Max and just thought the price was too prohibitive, now's your chance. So thank you very much. I always appreciate you tuning in and spending a few minutes with me as we discuss growing a graphic design business. I am Mark Decote, wishing you all the best with your business and reminding you to stay creative.
Thanks for listening to the Resourceful Designer Podcast at resourcefuldesigner.com.